The 2025 Snoopy Bowl is in the books, and while our New York Jets faltered to the crosstown rival Giants by a score of 31-12, there's some stock that's up, there's some stock that's down, and there's some stock that remains in the middle. That's what we'll talk about right here on the Next Gen Jet Show. What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the show. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. It is completely free, and it helps us grow significantly right here on the channel. If you guys have any questions, comments, thoughts, throw all of those in the chat. You guys could call into the show with the pinned comment if you want to get up and give your takes. We are under 50 subscribers away from 2,000 right here on this channel, so make sure you smash the like button and hit subscribe because it is completely free and it helps us grow significantly right here on the channel. That's the free way to help us grow. The paid way that helps us just as much as you can get into our membership raffle, and the info for that is right down below on the scrolling ticker. We have some great prizes we're giving away this month. Every $2 super chat or gifted membership gives you an entry and an opportunity to win a Sauce Gardner signed jersey, a Garrett Wilson signed helmet, a Wayne Corbett signed jersey, a CJ Mosley signed jersey, a Bart Scott signed photo, a Don Maynard signed photo, and a framed picture of the front page of the New York Daily News following the New York Jets' only Super Bowl victory to date. Of course, coming in 1969 with Matt Snell, Joe Willie Namath and company. So that, among other super cool prizes in this month's membership raffle. Again, every $2 super chat or gifted membership gives you an entry. Josh Woolever, Chris Grasso, Jack Cotter. I'm your host, Connor Long, right here with you guys on the Next Gen Jet Show. Jack, how you doing?
Tough loss. Tough loss. I say I'm a little disappointed. Still baffled with how bad we played last night, but you got to focus to this week against the Philadelphia Eagles, and let's hope we can bounce back. But overall, I'm doing good.
Christopher, how we feeling?
Tough loss, but it's preseason. Doesn't really matter. I'm excited to get into it and break it down with you guys.
That's the mentality I want to hear. Josh, we're in a new setting, but how we feeling?
I'm good. I'm not as mad as Jack is. It's preseason. Let's just chill out. Despite it being a loss, you can look at it as, we narrowed down the roster. We know a couple guys that, have a very hard spot, have a very hard chance of making this roster now. So at least we can say we're narrowing it down. We're seeing winners and losers, which is what today's episode's all about. Glad to join you, boys.
Most definitely. And if you guys want to get in on the conversation, you can throw all your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. You can call into the show with the pinned comment. Make sure you all smash that like button, hit subscribe, and get all your super chats, get all your memberships in because they go a long way. And they get you raffle entries right here on the program. I want to start with the starters and their performance that they put out on the field yesterday. Obviously, you look at the first possession of the game, Kene Nwangwu, who had missed a roster battle right now for that final running back spot, significantly strengthened his chances yesterday getting things started for the team. First return brings the offense across the 40-yard line. They're just short on that third down rushing play with Braylon Allen. They go back to the well on the ground. Braylon Allen gets that first down, and then things ultimately stall out. Justin Fields overthrows Breece Hall. Justin Fields missed throw after missed throw seemed to be like the story of yesterday. 1 of 5, 4 passing yards. Look, it's easy to be concerned about Fields and his performance yesterday if you just look at the stat line. But in the grand scheme of things, this is someone who performed well against the Green Bay Packers. And once I get the all-22 film, which NFL Plus Premium, I pay $15 a month for you guys to get the film up sooner rather than later, and it's still not up. So if anyone from the NFL is watching, get on that and let's get that film up ASAP so we can take a better look at the all-22. But rewatching from broadcast angles, there were many opportunities that appeared for Fields to take off and make plays with his legs, most notably the play where his only completion of the game, frankly, where he dumped it off to Mason Taylor on the flat in the flat on that play action bootleg. It appeared the Jets wanted them to play conservative. They wanted them to grow as a pocket passer. And our main concerns from yesterday stemmed from Fields as a pocket passer. Folks, I'm not telling you guys to be concerned because that's not the role Justin Fields is going to be playing on the 2025 New York Jets, Jack.
You still got to be worried, a little bit, though, because if he's going to pass the ball sometimes this season, you have to be good at it. And in some situations, he's going to have to pass the ball. Like 1 for 4 for, 5 yards, I think it was. Over the course of 2 drives, that's not really a good look for you. And I know we're going to be a run-first offense, but as a quarterback, you need to learn how to pass the ball in the NFL. And I'm glad he's actually – one pro about this is that I'm glad he's seeing the tough parts now in the preseason, then come week 1, and he's already going 1 for 4 and 5 yards during 2 drives for, the first 2 drives against the Steelers. So, I guess it's good that he's learning about it now. I guess, it's good to see that he can overcome these challenges before week 1. But overall, I mean, he's still an NFL quarterback. You got to be able to pass the ball. So those are my thoughts.
And I agree 1,000%. I'm not here to go up to bat for Justin Fields and defend yesterday's performance. What I'm saying is fans I had people in my post-game chat last night who were saying start Adrian Martinez. And
God.
that's where I draw the line in a
Wow.
significant fashion, because it's one performance, folks. Calm down. Think of the high that everyone was on last week after he marched down the field 73 yards and rushed into the end zone 13 yards for his first score in the green and white. Everyone was all pumped up and excited, thinking he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then now, fast forward a week later, we're all so low on Fields and who he is as a passer overall. I think us Jet fans and, a certain group specifically have been really, really high at times on this team and really, really low. And I think that summarizes the expectations for Justin Fields since they signed him. There are some Jet fans who think he can be a top 5 quarterback in the league, which I'm not ruling out, but they expect him to live up to that hype year 1 in the green and white, which frankly, I don't think that's fair to Justin Fields, because I don't think that's who he is as a player. Every player has a ceiling. I don't think Justin Fields is the caliber of a top 5 quarterback in the league. I just don't think he has that pedigree. And then others think he's not even a starting caliber quarterback. So I think the biggest thing for Fields in general and fans holding expectations for him is finding that middle ground, Chris, because I think this fan base as a whole, we can collectively agree, has been way too high or way too low on Fields from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a sloppy performance from Fields in the second preseason game versus the Giants. I mean, I would have loved to see him play another series. I think they should have got him out there another time, have him get his feet wet more, because I think that playing through these woes is extremely important, because, I mean, we kind of knew from the start that there wasn't going to be a lot of optimism coming from our offense on definite passing situations with Fields, but, I mean, it can't be as bad as it was. So, I mean, if Justin Fields, we're going to run him more. We're going to tell our offense to what his strengths are, but he also has to be functional as a passer when we need him to be. I mean, you can only win a certain amount of games with a ground and pound offense. And I did like how Braylon Allen looked. Brees was underwhelming. We can get into that later in the video, but Braylon Allen looked great. So, I mean, I'm all for the ground and pound style of offense, but we just kind of, we got to shake something up, because on definite passing situations, it cannot be that we're just unable to do anything. So, I mean, I didn't like what I saw from Fields yesterday. I wanted to see another drive. I think that would have been beneficial to him, but hey, I mean, going to the season, there's going to be a lot to look forward to. Our rushing attack. I mean, and then we're good. I mean, I'm not pulling the panic button just yet, pushing the panic button. Excuse me, but it doesn't make me at ease to see what happened yesterday.
I'm not pushing the panic button, folks, until we get into the regular season. If we see Justin Fields perform like this the first 3 weeks of the season, that's when you get me concerned. But we're talking about vanilla schemes here, offensively and defensively, for teams around the league. And we all know this team isn't going to have a top 10 passing attack in the league. Justin Fields isn't going to be a top 10 quarterback when you talk about passing touchdowns. The biggest thing for me, though, is everyone thinks you could just rely on the run game and perfect. It doesn't matter. The passing attack has to do nothing. Just run the ball and you'll be okay. That's just how to not win football games 101. To build the rushing attack, you have to have a passing attack that's, fearful and dynamic in at least one facet.
So,
because you need to be able to catch teams off guard, or your offense is just going to be so predictable. You're going to be blown up play in and play out. And yesterday, I think that was the main thing. I think if the Giants were playing their starters the entire game, and I think if they were running their true regular season schemes, a lot of the big plays the Jets had wouldn't have flown. I think the third possession of the game, the Jets had 11 straight runs or something like that on a 13-play drive, 11 straight runs. That's not going to happen in the regular season, and you're not going to succeed off that. You're going to go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Doing that in the regular season against starting caliber NFL defenses and elite ones at that, squaring off against the Pittsburgh Steelers week 1 and multiple talented defenses along the way, another stout defense in the Dallas Cowboys come week 5 of the season, barring the fact that Micah Parsons is on that team then, but I digress. Josh, how you feeling? Thoughts on those comments I just made?
Yeah, you made a lot of good points, how the running plays off the passing plays off the running. Look, if you want to be a run-first team, that's absolutely fine in the NFL, but that has to open up space to have an effective play action. If there's just running Justin Fields coming into the building, it is limiting his best asset, because if you're a quarterback who is mobile like Justin Fields is, which we obviously didn't get under the Aaron Rodgers era, so this is a fresh start for Jet fans, but you have to use his mobility to your strengths. He has to be able to be a good passer for teams to overcommit to the run, to leave him lanes to go and take off and run with it. But overall, from Fields, he looked less comfortable in the pocket. To the people who were as high on him last week, you got to be as low on him now. This is going to be a roller coaster of a season with Justin Fields. I don't think anybody on this panel thinks Justin Fields is going to be an extremely consistent quarterback this season. So Justin Fields, you got to be able to ride with the highs and the lows. For me, this week, obviously it doesn't mean too much. It's preseason, but it felt like a little bit of what we saw from him last year in Pittsburgh, where, the team was running the ball effectively, but Justin Fields was really in there, not making a big enough impact to win you football games at the meaningful point of it. And obviously his only completion being a dump off, he just looked less confident in himself. He was being antsy in the pocket. I remember one play he dropped back to pass, there was pressure in his face, and he could not get a clean pass out, which is what we saw a lot of in practice as well. So he's got to find his rhythm in the pocket, be able to be comfortable and move around, because that's what he's built for in the NFL. If he can't do that, he can't be an effective quarterback. I look for big things coming here week 3 in the preseason and as we roll into the regular season.
Yeah, I just want to jump in on one thing you said there real quick. So you said how Justin Fields is going to have to be able to ride the highs and the lows. And I mean, I think the Jets can get away with Justin Fields being kind of inconsistent in that manner if we have good coaching and if we get the coaching we expect from Aaron Glenn. Because if you have a coach, a CEO who can steady that ship at your lowest point, you can be fine and you will escape those low times in the slump. So I mean, I think that's going to be so
and guys
important.
around him who can step up. That would absolutely
let our defense, with our experienced defensive play callers like Steve Wilkes, carry in our run game, then ease Justin Fields back into that rhythm. So that's what we're gonna be.
And one thing I will say is, notice it was only 5 passing attempts. So that's why I'm not overreacting, guys. He had 5 passing attempts and he ripped off a 6-yard run. That was the line for Justin Fields. Those are the opportunities he got to contribute. He was under distress against a very, very, very solid Giants pass rush.
They're one of the best in the league. That D-line.
Right, and they were all healthy, unlike Quinnen and Jermaine.
Except Dexter. I think Dexter Lawrence was out, but that's it.
Yeah, you had all those guys out there, especially the ones off the edge. So Fields was flying around, going from each side of the pocket, trying to make plays. Notice this. He didn't turn the ball over. Did he overthrow Breece Hall at a point? Sure. Did he just throw a little behind Garrett Wilson? Absolutely. But he wasn't turning the ball over. He wasn't forcing the ball through compromising positions on receivers that could lead to turnovers. That's one thing that I noticed from Fields, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, he just overall just looked very uncomfortable out there. And again, like we said, it's one of the best defensive lines, if not the best defensive line in the entire league. I really hope it's not the case come, like the New England Patriots, who don't really have the best defensive line, but have one of the best secondaries. I mean, that can also be an issue for him come passing time. So, I mean, it's really
the Patriots really have a good secondary, with the exception of Christian Gonzalez. They have one.
Carlton Davis is pretty good.
Carlton Davis signed with them. That's a fair point as well. I forgot about that. They have a strong secondary, sure, but I think the biggest thing for Fields is the biggest struggle throughout his career has been manipulating defenses, and that's a concern that stemmed from him even at his time at Ohio State. He went against a very, very weak Packers defensive line last week. Kenny Clark was not at his best, and that's given the fact that the Jets offensive line stepped up, and that's what you want to see. You have all pros on that line. However, the Jets line stood their own, which is exactly what you want to see. However, I think a lot of Fields' success is going to hinge upon the offensive line and their production, the time that they're able to buy Justin Fields, because Justin Fields, like a lot of young quarterbacks, has built a habit to hold on to the ball for way too long, and that's a product of having an offensive line up front that hasn't done the best job blocking for him. I think the majority of his success this season is going to hinge upon the offensive line's production, and I still hold high expectations that this offensive line is going to be a top 10 unit. Just seeing them create holes in the running game yesterday was great. I really honed in on the trenches yesterday, and the Jets were really, really confident running the ball between Tippmann and Elijah Vera Tucker on that right side. And it wasn't a huge chunk play, but that's 4 or 5 yards play in and play out that I noticed when the Jets were just going to the well with Braylon Allen, going to the well with Kene Nwangwu. I'm not going to put Donovan Edwards and Breece Hall in that conversation because both those guys struggled mightily yesterday, and obviously Isaiah Davis out dealing with an injury. So I think a lot of Fields and this whole offensive success is going to start up front, start in the trenches, and that's how the season is pretty much going to go with an elite defense. Obviously, you hope being able to reestablish themselves with an experienced coaching staff. I mentioned his name right there, Kene Nwangwu. He had a solid performance against the Green Bay Packers after he signed to this team's practice squad midway through last year. The kickoff return, that's what I mentioned, to open the game, gives the team possession across the 40-yard line, and then the team has to punt the ball away, and he runs all the way down the field on special teams, smacks the ball out of the end zone to avoid a touchback for Austin McNamara, and bats it back out to the 7-yard line, and the Giants are all the way deep in their own territory. Then offensively, he averaged 5.2 yards per carry. Yes, you heard that right. 5.2 yards per carry. Chris, is Kene Nwangwu a roster lock at this juncture?
I mean, based off what we saw last game, probably like the way they played him at running back, it shows that he's gonna have. They want to see that he has multiple values. Can give you value on special teams, and if needed, he can be put in that running back slot. So the return, he had that massive effort play that you described. I mean, I think at this point he's a lock to be our returner.
Jack?
Yeah, this guy is a guy who's hungry for a roster spot, and I think he's playing his soul. He's playing his soul out right now for.
Well, so is every single player. I mean, so is Pokey Wilson, so is Lawrence.
Well, it was obvious with Kene last night based off what we saw.
Kene made all the plays.
If this guy makes the 53-man, I'm strong. I have a strong, feeling that this guy is our special teams guy of the future. I really think that he can make an impact for this team.
The one thing is he can't return punts. And I have him on the 53-man roster. My prediction that came out today for Jets X Factor, as it does after every single preseason game. I have him on the roster. I view him as that primary kick returner, someone who can give you gunner reps as well, which we saw yesterday getting downfield on that punt and smacking it out of the back of the end zone. And even offers you some offensive juice potentially, as much as a fourth running back potentially could on a team's depth chart, as we saw they're averaging over 5 yards a touch. So I have him making this roster, Josh. I don't know about a lock, but as close as you can be to that territory.
And that's what I was going to add on to, Connor. I think by no means is he a lock at this juncture. Look, he had an all right first game against Green Bay, went into this game against New York and absolutely balled out. I'll give you that. But you're looking at a filled-up running back room with 3 established backs in front of him that, he has no business surpassing over in the depth chart. And then you have a guy like Pritchett already back there who you can imagine returning kicks if you want to give Gibson a run, which I personally don't. That's also there's a little bit of conversation to be had with who's returning kicks back there as well. So to me, Nwangwu, I think overall, his effort was through the roof last night. I loved what he did. He also had a tackle on a punt. So not only that extra effort play to keep it out of the end zone, avoid the touchback, but also laid a big hit on whoever was returning for the Giants there. So Nwangwu showed me a lot yesterday, but to say he's a roster lock after one good preseason game is not something I can give you. I'm looking for him to have a big performance in the final preseason game, against Philadelphia. But compared to Donovan Edwards, who really did not show up yesterday, he's definitely past that position in terms of if there was to be one more running back added onto this roster. Between him and Edwards, he certainly made a strong case yesterday.
You mentioned him right there, Josh. Donovan Edwards, undrafted free agent out of Michigan. Very stout performance against the Green Bay Packers, third team defense in the preseason opener. Isaiah Davis out against the Giants. Edwards is someone myself, among a ton of other Jet fans, tabbed as someone they were really looking forward to seeing last night against the Giants. Ultimately, for Edwards, it was a dud. Couldn't break through, couldn't find the gaps. couldn't make an impact. 8 touches, 21 yards, a grim 2.6 yards per carry there. And then he had that prime opportunity to pick up chunk yards on that receiving play and only amounted to a 7-yard gain after he lost his footing following the pass that he hauled in from quarterback Adrian Martinez there. Chris, Edwards to me is nothing more than a practice squad guy. And if you're going to carry Nwangu, you can't carry 5 true running backs on this team, along with most likely a fullback and Andrew Beck. Plus, what's the risk really of putting Edwards on waivers? He has not put nearly enough on tape throughout practice and the preseason to warrant another team snatching him up and bringing him onto their active roster.
I'm not going to necessarily put all of the blame onto Edwards for his performance. I'm going to say most of the opportunities were given to Nwangu, which is fine. He performed. So most of the rushing opportunities were given to Nwangu. I mean, I don't think we saw.
No, Edwards had more carries than Nwangu.
Nwangu, Edwards had only like 8 touches. That's not really.
Nwangu had 6.
Yeah, but I'm still saying the amount that Edwards sees that wasn't enough. So I mean, listen, that's fine. I know you.
He saw the most amount among any Jets ball carrier yesterday. He got the majority amount of reps over every single player. You can't ask for nothing.
But only 8 rushes, like that's
the most that any other player received.
So if depending on what they want to do, like whatever they want to do, I'm not in the room with them, so I don't know what their intent is, who they're giving these carries to. But listen, I'm not a Dominic Edwards super fan. I couldn't care less. I just want the best guy to make the team. So Kene Nwangu, I understand that you cannot roster both Edwards and Nwangu. That'd just be dumb. So I think at this current juncture, Nwangu is slated to make it over Edwards. At this point, yeah, I have no problem holding Diamond Edwards on the practice squad. But I will defend Edwards on that one play where you said he caught the ball and he could have gone farther. I mean, at that point, there were so many incomplete passes. The offenses was barely running. So I mean, at that point, you just want to catch that ball and just make sure you haul that in and take the yards. You don't want to go for anything and have anything happen. So
you think he just should have gone down despite no defender being
inside? No, that's not what I said. I mean,
that play
the offense was so out of rhythm at that point that you just want to take that 7-yard catch, whatever it was, get down. But yeah, ultimately, I'm fine having Diamond Edwards on the practice squad and letting him see what happens with him in waivers.
Josh?
Yeah, to me, Edwards, although he showed a lot in the first preseason game, and we were talking about him bringing back significant trade value in a day 3 pick, that stock has gone out of here. I don't think you trade him for anything at this point, not even a 7th. Waivers, maybe that's interesting. I can definitely see, a running back hungry team, maybe like Dallas, bring him in for a tryout. But I think that there is a chance that if you put Edwards on waivers, he doesn't clear and come back to the practice squad, but I would have no problem. Like, I wouldn't lose sleep over Donovan Edwards not being on the practice squad. To me, he didn't show enough. We'll see him in the final preseason game between him and Nwangu, but I also don't think it's a crazy scenario to bring up that neither of these guys don't make the roster. If you're talking about Pritchett returning kicks and this Jets team wanting to allocate that 4th running back slot onto the defensive end, carry an extra DB, I would also have no problem with that. So, despite all this, Edwards versus Nwangu, I think there's also a realistic scenario where Aaron Glenn says, I want this spot to be on defense and not carry a 4th running back.
So that's interesting because yesterday you talked about defense and mentioned. So yesterday, I don't know if it's just me, but I thought I don't think Stiggers played a good game. Besides that one interception that was in no man's land. That
was a good over the shoulder catch. That's not an easy play.
I thought Stiggers played a good game, 1,000%.
I mean, I saw a couple of times. I could be remembering this wrong. I saw a couple of times where he got beat in coverage, but besides that one, I'm not like having that one.
The one play where he got beat in coverage, Chris, was a comeback route from Jalen Hyatt when the Giants were all the way back up in their own
on the right sideline, right?
And yeah, I'm gonna get the film just got released, so I'll try to pull up some clips here on the show shortly. But that's such a tough play to defend when you have someone who is of the caliber route runner that Jalen Hyatt is. To be able to go from the back pedal you're in to then transition forward and push off your back foot and burst forward as a boundary corner is so hard to do. The interception, frankly, I give him all that credit. He did a great job of tracking that ball. That was all the way in the back corner of the end zone. It was about 10 yards away from where he was initially standing from when that ball got released. I give him credit for hustling to the back corner of the end zone and ultimately hauling that in just like a receiver over his back shoulder, as Josh referenced to earlier there. the big play that was allowed to Bo Collins, ultimately 80 yards, that brought the Giants down to the 1 yard line,
Yeah, but that
had
was Andre
nothing to
Cisco.
do
That was
with
Andre.
the
That was all Andre
yeah,
Cisco's fault.
that was
I wasn't referencing that as a Stiggers. Well, I mean, Andre Cisco obviously didn't play that
yeah.
well at all. I mean, and Andre Cisco.
Who
I
had
mean,
his eyes on the
that's
quarterback?
interesting. I was talking up Andre Cisco during off camp. That's just a mistake. That's the last time he's gonna ever make that mistake. That just can't happen.
I give
And
him credit for getting downfield and wrapping him up. I know.
yeah, that effort is gonna earn you points in a film room with Aaron Glenn, but still, you gotta make sure you're playing your assignment properly. And going back to what you said about Stiggers, I mean, yeah, I understand how it could be hard for him to get with Hyatt. Obviously, as Hyatt, however you say his name, obviously a speedy receiver and like comeback route. But I saw that one play, if I'm gonna cherry pick, was poor technique. And then you go to that interception. I mean, it's not like he manipulated the quarterback at all. I mean, Russell Wilson just threw a moon ball. It was nowhere near the intended target. I mean, I give him credit for the effort, but that wasn't like that shouldn't have been. That wasn't a play that you say, okay, that's a good corner. That's a good corner play. That's a good catch. Yeah, but like
Still
that doesn't
corralled the
matter.
ball that gave the Jets possession and switched the ball over while the Giants were in the red zone. I want to go back to that Cisco play, though, to kind of break it down here without having the clip ready on hand. What happened because I know a lot of people didn't catch the game yesterday. What happened is Bo Collins was running a deep, crossing route. It was across the middle of the field, and Stiggers was with him stride for stride. And then the simple play where Cisco, the high free safety, is supposed to take the torch from Stiggers, which Stiggers communicated very, very clearly to Cisco. And Cisco got the gist. However, he flips his head and he completely lost track of the ball and completely lost track of Bo Collins, who was then trotting his way into the end zone. So that play was completely on Andre Cisco. That play was not on Quantez Stiggers whatsoever. I just wanted to clarify that for those who were unable to catch the player, catch the game yesterday. I want to talk about the Jets pass catchers yesterday because, well, Justin Fields struggled to connect with any of them yesterday. There were some names that stood out to me. The connection between Adrian Martinez and Arian Smith warranted 2 receptions for 39 yards. There was a play that a lot of people dubbed as an Arian Smith drop, but going back and rewatching the play, it was a clear PI call about 20 yards downfield down the right sideline that was a no call, and a lot of fans credited Smith for a drop there. So I just wanted to clarify that quickly on the show. Yesterday, we saw why the Jets drafted Arian Smith, and we saw a bad drop on his first target of the game. But boy, oh boy, did he bounce back. He's not very physical, which a lot of scouting reports said, and that proved to be true last night. But just his ability overall to get downfield and take the top of it off the defense was special.
Yeah, I mean, after that game, Aaron Smith's stock has got to be up. I mean, you see him consistently getting targets in preseason, and this is what we were talking about before the preseason. What we need to see out of Aaron Smith for him to be elevated into possibly a wide receiver 3 role at some point this season. I personally don't think he's done. Like he's had a good preseason. He's had a steady preseason. He's shown exactly what we're trying to see, trending in the right direction. He hasn't exactly showed out and played I wouldn't say he turned heads, but that's just where I'm at with Arian Smith right now. Then obviously there's a guy that I've been looking for all preseason. I can't find him. Malachi Corley, man, he's not having a good preseason. It's really sad.
You can find him committing personal fouls, Chris, on returns in the fourth quarter.
Good play on board. That's a good play on board.
I think I said it during my live stream yesterday. I said the only thing we've heard out of Corley this whole season was a personal foul. Nothing else.
Yeah, he at this point, how am I going to word this? I was a big advocate for Malachi Corley coming into this preseason, coming into camp. I really did. I wanted to see him at the team. I thought he could be a dynamic playmaker. But at this point, man, like we got to wonder, is he going to make this team? It does not look like it. Not at all.
Chris, even if he has a good third preseason game, he's shown nothing throughout camp. He's shown nothing through the first 2 games. Like, there's no way you roster this guy at all.
I put him in the same cat. Like, I think he has a slightly higher chance than a Pokey Wilson, for example,
Florida State,
to make this roster. Like, his chances, in my opinion, are a lot lower than most people think. Chris, 100%. You mentioned you didn't think Arian Smith turned heads yesterday, but someone who certainly turned heads, someone that I've been talking about since all the way back in May, Kansas undrafted free agent Quentin Skinner had a touchdown. It was a highlight grab. Caught it from my other guy, Brady Cook, as he fully laid out in the back corner of the end zone, bobbled the ball, and then secured possession before hitting the ground. It was a great play from my guy Skinner, and I had him on my 53-man roster prediction last week, and yesterday's performance only solidified that thought for me. Overall, alongside the touchdown, he hauled in 4 receptions for 48 yards. So a solid performance out of him, Chris. Is Skinner on your 53?
It's tough. I think so. He's certainly trending in the right direction. He's certainly made all the plays, done all the right things, and we saw Brady Cook throw a nice ball there too. So I mean, yes, at the end of the day, I do think he makes the 53. The receiver room is going to be very interesting with Garrett, Lazard, Reynolds. Then after that, you have no Corley at this point, so you have Skinner, Pritchett, and then that's 5.
I'll tell you
How much more after that?
I'll tell you this right now. I don't have Alan Lazard on my 53-man roster prediction.
I don't know about that. I mean, does IR count as 53-man roster? Inform me.
No.
No, so I mean, if he could be on the IR depending on how bad the shoulder injury is, but it said 2 weeks, so that means he should be ready by week 1 if I'm not
but we
mistaken.
know teams manipulate that system. Like when Greg Zuerlein missed several kicks,
Phantom injury.
week in and week out.
It was not a phantom injury. He was seen in a sling, Josh.
No, I'm talking about Greg Zuerlein.
Oh yeah.
He's talking
I'm
about
giving the example of last year when Zuerlein was, missing kick after kick, losing game
injured
after game, and he hurt his knee during practice, and he, 6 weeks out on IR. So teams are able to manipulate that to a degree. My concern is you let go of Lazard, he signs with Pittsburgh, and boom, he's been in this system for 2 years now. Excuse me. That's not what you want to see. Sharing a game plan to a guy like
McCole Hardman 2.0.
Exactly who you face. But the worst thing about McCole Hardman is he was actually on the Jets when doing that for the Kansas City Chiefs, which made things even worse. If I were Alan Lazard and I got traded to the Steelers or cut by the Jets and signed with the Steelers, I would tell him everything about Engstrand. I'd tell him everything about the scheme. I'd tell him everything defensively, and I think he has every right to do that. But that's the main concern. By letting Lazard go, and that's a concern I've heard a lot from the fan base and a lot of Jet fans. And frankly, I think it's a rightful one because that's not something you want to see happen during a week 1 matchup that I think the Jets really need to get a win in. Because not only just to say that you're 1-0, but you're going up against Aaron Rodgers, a guy you just moved on from this offseason. I think getting a win is super, super important. Jack, I want to get you in the conversation. I got to go grab water quickly after I ask you this question so you guys carry the conversation. Is Quentin Skinner on your 53-man roster? The same question I just carried to Chris.
Absolutely. I mean, this guy is your contested catch guy. This guy will get you a lot of deep balls this season. I mean, I know he's only an undrafted rookie free agent out of Kansas, 2-star recruit actually going into college. So, I mean, this kid's story is absolutely amazing. So, I mean, we've seen it through the preseason. We've seen it through training camp that this guy will get you those contested deep balls. So, yes, I believe he's on my 53-man. Josh, what do you think?
To me, beautiful catch. I think the Jets would benefit significantly from a big body pass catcher with solid hands, which I think he's a guy that can bring that to the table, much like what the pluses on Alan Lazard would be if you were to move on from him, a guy that can come in and basically immediately fill that role for you. But absolutely, and I think that this significantly raises his stock. What was it? A 4-catch, I think close to 90-yard performance for him in a wide open receiver. Yeah, in a wide open receiver. 448 or 84?
448 yards.
Okay, 4 for 48.
4 catches, 48 yards.
Okay, and just a wide open receiver room. Like, to me, I think he has a great shot at it. Again, this is not a roster lock to me. Great catch, absolutely. I'll tell you that. I'd like to see more from him coming up in this 3rd preseason game against the Eagles. But, considering this is another one of those positions on the Jets, which there are quite a few of, where this roster lacks depth, I think absolutely he has an inside track at getting a roster spot again. A guy that can be that, big, solid catcher and showed his athleticism with that touchdown grab.
Thank you all for tuning in right here on the Next Gen Jet Show. Make sure you please smash that like button and hit subscribe down below because it is completely free, folks, completely free of charge, and it helps us grow significantly right here on the show. My co-host, Jack Cotter, Chris Grasso, Josh Woolever right here with myself, Connor Long, here on the Next Gen Jet Show. Thank you so much for all your support. Again, smash the like button, hit subscribe, throw all your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. We are going to begin to get to those. You guys can call into the show with the pinned comment. If you guys want to get up here, give your takes on screen. The paid way to help us grow that a lot of you guys have gotten into this month already. It's a great way to help us grow. And the raffle occurring on September 17th, our monthly membership raffle. Prize we're giving away include a Sauce Gardner signed jersey, a Garrett Wilson signed helmet, a Wayne Corbett signed jersey, a CJ Mosley signed jersey, a Bart Scott signed photo, a Don Maynard signed photo, and a picture of the front page of the New York Daily News following the Jets' 1969 Super Bowl win.
Classic.
And that picture will come in a frame.
I think that's the best prize you've ever given out, Connor. That's an awesome
Really?
prize.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I have
Yes,
it right
I
next to me.
agree.
It's a pretty sick picture, absolutely. So happy to raffle all those prizes away. Again, more details on the ticker down below. By you guys gifting memberships, by you guys getting super chats, that allows us to put more money into the show, improve it graphically, and just improve the show all around. So guys, super chats, memberships truly go a long way right here on the show. September 15th, baby. That is when we are raffling off all those prizes. So make sure you get into our membership raffle. I appreciate your support as always. Right here on the show, again, questions, comments, thoughts, throw all those in the chat. We're going to get to those shortly. You guys can call into the show with the pinned comment all the way at the top of the chat. Alan comes in and says, if I donate memberships, can I exclude Grasso? Thoughts there, Chris?
Fuck you, Alan.
Whoa!
Love that.
Oh!
Listen, Alan seems to have a grudge against me for no reason. Alan wants to trade Quinn Williams. I've trade everybody, trade every ounce of talent this team has. So listen, it's okay.
We're wasting too much time here. Alan, I'm a capitalist, so yes, we can exclude Grasso if the membership. So. You know what? I'll actually drop a membership myself here to get things started. Right here on the show, guys. Again, every $2 super chat or gifted membership gives you a raffle entry right here on the program. My membership went to BC. Got a membership. So shout out to you, BC. Thank you so much for supporting the show. You became a member. So I dropped a gifted membership again, guys. Every $2 super chat or gifted membership gives you an entry right here on the show. Again, guys, load up all your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. You guys call into the show with the pin comment. We're going to get to all you guys in the chat. But first up here on the show, we got an electric caller, baby, who's going to start things off for us. We're all aboard the Lane train.
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
Lane, how we doing?
What's up, Lane?
Oh, hi, everybody. Hello, Jack. Hi, everybody.
How we
Hi,
doing?
How are you, Lane?
Let's go.
So I want to talk about the game last night.
Absolutely.
I know Martinez and Marcel Tucker.
Who?
So Tucker.
Taylor? You mean Mason Taylor?
Yeah. How do you feel that the way he played last night? Do you
Mason
think he
Taylor?
moved the ball well or not?
Who, Mason Taylor, you talking about, Lane?
Yeah.
Mason Taylor, I was perfectly fine with his performance.
Right.
Frankly, him alongside all the Jet starters, pass catchers especially, didn't see enough opportunities. He had one target. It was an opportunity in the flat on a pass from Justin Fields, and he reeled it in for 4 yards. You couldn't have asked for him to do anything more. But if you asked me to give you kind of a more in-depth answer here, Lane, we didn't see enough out of him to truly give a fair
Yeah, because I don't think that the Jets played that well. I mean, I honestly, on the other side, the Giants did score all those points because I actually do like the Giants. But yeah, the Jets should have won. There was some plays I didn't agree with. You know?
Yeah, a lot of people are going to talk about the score and it being
Like
30-12. I said it on my post-game show. I don't think the final score really defines the game to a strong enough standpoint. Guys, the game Jets were trailing 7-6 at halftime. It was a 1-point game entering halftime. I think the defense played a lot better than allowing 31 points when you truly go back.
Here's to the Jets won 13-12. No, the Giants. It's like they came out and just blew off, off the Jets on the field. There's never a chance for them to at least come back. They're too far behind.
Most definitely. Lane, we appreciate the call. You got any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, and honestly, I think maybe going into week 1, you have to beat up on stinky Aaron Rodgers because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Amen.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And at least one more, and then I'll let you go to the next caller. And hopefully going into week 1, we could just keep throwing the ball around and make it 1-0 to start this season. All right, that's all I have to say.
We appreciate the call. Have a good night,
Thank
my
you
friend.
for taking
Hell
my
yeah.
call.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lane Train checking in with us
Oh,
here
yeah.
on the show. Shout out to you, Lane. We appreciate the kind words. We appreciate the support as always. Hope you have a great night. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. And nevertheless, thank you so much for checking in right here on the show. Missed our conversation with Lane, baby. John dropped in and gifted a channel membership right here on the show. Shout out to you, John, my friend. I appreciate your support as always. Right here on the Next Gen Jet Show, and your membership went to Duhan. You gifted a membership to Duhan right here on the show, John. Thank you so much for your support. As always, again, guys, every $2 super chat or gifted membership gives you a raffle entry here on the show. Keep all the questions, comments, thoughts, and more flowing in the chat. Super chats will come up immediately. You guys can call in the show just like Lane did by way of using the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Again, guys, if you haven't already, smash that like button and hit subscribe. It is completely free of charge, and it really goes a long way. We are under 50 subscribers, 48 subscribers away currently from 2,000 subscribers right here on YouTube. So keep hitting the like button, keep hitting subscribe, guys, because it truly goes a long way to supporting us right here on the channel. I want to move over to the defensive side of the ball, and I'll start up front on the defensive line. Derek Nottie missed a very grim summer, to put it lightly, for the way he's performed. A very unproductive summer where he really hasn't caught in the eye of anyone at training camp, anyone on the practice field, anyone in the preseason. With Byron Cowart and Quinnen Williams, both out during yesterday's game, he got the starting nod on the interior of the line, and ultimately nothing jaw-dropping, nothing eye-catching what I saw from Derek Nottie yesterday. Jack, I didn't have him on my 53-man roster prediction last week, and he didn't play his way onto the roster this week.
I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be on the 53 man either. I mean, you have guys like Jay Tufele is proving himself, although I didn't really see much out of the defensive tackles last night. You'd still have Tufele, who's had a much better, at least since the preseason started, had a much better summer already than Nottie. I mean, you have a guy like LT3 who's our rising guy to make this 53 man. I think both of those guys will make it over Nottie. So no, I don't think Nottie is making this 53.
Chris, Josh, what are you guys thinking about Derek Nottie?
I mean, it's not a question of
because of how he's established himself. What is the plan here?
So I don't think it's a question, Jack, of Leonard LT3 making it over Derek Nottie. I mean, LT3 is kind of to back up Quinnen Williams and play when Quinnen Williams isn't in. What?
He might start alongside Quinnen.
Playing them both next to each other. Yeah, I mean, you got to have someone bigger who can take up space like Tufele. I mean,
Right,
I think
just stop.
I think ultimately Derek Nottie will make the team just because, I mean, they brought him in. I know the contract was not guaranteed, but still, when you bring in a veteran presence on a D-line that's not deep, this D-line is not have that much depth. I think it's valuable to kind of keep a veteran like Nottie, and even if he's not going to be 100%. And I mean, Tufele can keep on rising and earn that job next to Quinnen. But I mean, I think Nottie ultimately does make the team. But I'm also watching out for the roles LT3 and Tufele can possibly play on this team coming this season.
Josh?
I'm with Chris here. I think Nottie just, considering the Glenn regime brought him in, they clearly had a plan with him. He hasn't, jumped off the page in terms of his camp, in terms of these first 2 preseason games, but I think he's quietly, been doing his job, filling his role, and as a backup defensive lineman for a room with what Chris mentioned as 0 depth, you don't exactly have to be flying around the field, making a ton of tackles. Look, I think overall the Jets defensive line, I think we can all agree, was awful last night. They had 2 sacks. One of them was a 1-yard loss that was more like a quarterback trying to escape the pocket and it closed in on him. And the other was a safety coming down into the box and making a great play. Who was it? Dean Clark, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken.
He was my player of the game offensively and defensively yesterday. And I don't mean to cut you off there. We'll go deeper into Dean Clark once we get to the secondary. But boy, oh boy, was he a game wrecker yesterday.
No, absolutely. He was great. But my point being, the defensive line had no push up front. The Giants' offensive line, which isn't good, was no match for the Jets defensively up front in the trenches. So that was something concerning as a unit. The Jets not getting much penetration on any of the three quarterbacks, whether it be Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston. Those guys were sitting back there. Why do you think Russell Wilson had the time to load up and hit his boy Bo Collins for an 80-yard gain? It's because he had 5 seconds to take his time, scan the field, load up, and throw a moon ball. So the defensive line as a whole was disappointing yesterday. So especially with a defensive-minded head coach, we need those things cleaned up and pressure in the quarterback, make him release the ball, help stuff the run better than they did. Basically, the Giants were getting everything they wanted to offensively. Their entire scheme was working, and that all started because up front, they were overmatching the Jets on the line.
The linebackers, former first-round pick, Jamin Davis, for the second week in a row, making plays, compiling a strong case as to why he should be the linebacker 3. 77.3 overall defensive grade from Pro Football Focus yesterday for Davis. How many linebackers does this team roll with, Jack? Because Marcelino McCrary-Ball, viewed as the favorite for the job entering last week, has since significantly lowered his stock. And in my latest roster prediction, he's not on the team.
Yeah.
How many linebackers does the squad roll with?
I think looking at the depth right now in the backers, there's not really a lot of good options to choose from. I guess Jamin Davis is really the only one that's really sticking out right now. So if I had to make a guess, most NFL teams really carry around like 5 to 7 linebackers on a team, 5 to 6,
4 to 5 max.
Yeah,
So I'm going to say around
6. I'm going to say around 5. I'm going to say around 5. The
5.
Jets carry. I really have a definitive answer right now, but I definitely Jamin Davis is on there. I think McCrary-Ball will end up making the team just because of the horrible depth for this Jets linebacker group. Maui Goa, I think he's gonna make the team. So I think so far those are my 5 backers.
The guys I have
with Quincy and Jamie.
Jamie, and obviously Francisco Maui Noah, just given the fact that he was a 5th-round pick, he cracks it. But I have Jamin Davis assuming the duties of linebacker 3 on this team with McCrary-Ball and Jackson Sermon on the practice squad as well. Jackson Sermon was a UDFA from last year, continues to make an impact on special teams. I anticipate he will be on the practice squad. And the third name that I forgot there on the practice squad as well, Jamarcus Weston, more special teams upside, stood strong in coverage against Green Bay. Didn't make much of an impact yesterday. I think he ultimately falls back to the practice squad. Chris, what are we thinking?
I agree with you 100%. I was going to say, obviously, Quincy Sherwood. And I think at the end of the day, McCrary-Ball will be on the outside looking in, as you said, on the practice squad. So I think you hit the. I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say. I mean, I didn't get quite put. I didn't quite put together the analogy. I was gonna say hit the nail on the head, but yeah, you that was perfect there.
Thank you, Chris. Josh.
4 sounds about right to me. I could see them rolling with 5, but honestly, the Jets played zone coverage, and just watching the broadcast, I also didn't watch film. But watching the broadcast, it just felt like McCrary-Ball was a little bit lost in zone coverage. There was a lot of times where over the middle it was his responsibility. He had multiple guys there and allowed for some easy gains for the Giants. But to me, I don't see him as a guy making the roster. You go back to last week when he got disciplined by Aaron Glenn on the sideline for a bad late hit going out of bounds. So to me, I think it's also 4 with Jamin Davis being that 3rd linebacker.
Secondary, folks. The secondary continues to be the focal point of this defense, the back end of the defense. And they were without Sauce Gardner yesterday, the starting unit, which was obvious the first few possessions of the game being without Gardner. Gardner not being a part of that starting unit was made clear. But someone who stood up in the cornerback position yesterday, Jarek Bernard-Converse, following his absence during the game against Green Bay. 87.2 overall defensive grade from Pro Football Focus. He had a great tackle in open space to stop Derek Singletary from entering the end zone at that Devin Singletary, from entering the end zone at the inside the 1 yard line there. He had a few nice tackles, wasn't getting completely bullied in coverage. Draft pick by this organization just a few years ago, Jack, is JBC on the 53.
Absolutely. I think you have guys like MC2 who are, obviously making the roster. You have guys like Bernard Converse, I think, who are making the roster. Even, Stickers, I think, will make the 53 man. So all of these young guys for the Jets, I think they're all going to make it. I think this corner or this secondary room is nothing but greatness based off what we've seen out of this preseason so far. Stickers, yes, he did struggle a little bit in the first quarter yesterday, but he did improve his play style throughout the entire game. So I think this secondary is filled with young talent, and I think that we are probably going to keep almost every single one of them that we have, like in terms of Stickers or Converse.
Chris?
Nothing but greatness. Jack Cotter quote describing this secondary. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna put all my chips into the fact that Stiggers is a roster lock. I could 100% see him making it back, but I'm in the same kind of realm as Jack there. I do think that the young core of our secondary will be kept together, and the secondary depth will remain pretty strong.
Adding on to what you guys said, I think this is a case where Aaron Glenn is a former DB himself. I think he's invested a lot of stock into this secondary to make it the focal point of this Jet defense, maybe even the focal point of the entire team. To me, I think Glenn likes to keep around guys like Stiggers, guys like Bernard Converse, who show the extra effort. He was very physical yesterday, JBC was, and that's something you absolutely love to see. And I talked about it earlier in the show, how I could see there being that fourth running back spot, that extra linebacking spot. I could see it. I can see all those spots translating to more guys at the cornerback spot, at the safety spot, because I think this Jet team wants to build depth here. Sauce Gardner with an injury that, feels early and feels mild, but who knows what the progression of that looks like. You're talking about, Brandon Stevens and AZ Thomas, who could be the next up in that cornerback room after that. But I think this team wants to build the depth there at the cornerback spot. I see both of those guys. Unlike Jack, this isn't pure greatness. I don't think we have Hall of Famers on our hands outside of Sauce. But absolutely, I think this.
I mean it as in Hall of
room.
Famers.
What?
I didn't mean it as in greatness and Hall of Famer greatness. I mean we haven't seen.
I know. I'm
just
just saying. I like the depth in the corner room.
Jarek Bernard Converse, I don't see making the 53-man roster. I have him on the practice squad. You can only carry so many guys in the secondary. Sauce Gardner, Brandon Stevens, Michael Carter II, Isaiah Thomas, Isaiah Oliver, all roster locks. I think Stiggers has outperformed Converse. He gets that final spot. Then Jordan Clark, Ryan Cooper, and JBC round out as the three guys on the practice squad. Look, he certainly stood out yesterday, but availability, that is the best ability. He's missed season after season, game after game due to injury. That's the best ability. You can get him through waivers and get him on the practice squad without having to use a roster spot on him, Jack. You're muted.
Yeah, there's always room for for him on the practice squad. But I think based off what we've seen last night over the course of his offseason, I think there actually is a chance that he does make this team. He's a very physical guy, and I think you need a very physical DB in order to be successful in this league. I really do think a physical defensive back can go far, especially with this New York Jets team. I mean, you have guys like Sauce who has struggled with tackling in the past. We have seen some improvements, with his tackling, especially last week during the Green Bay game. But there's nothing wrong with having a very physical DB in your room. So I would be very open to them, keeping Converse, and I would like for them to keep Converse.
Dean Clark, is he on this team's 53-man roster, Josh?
That's a tough one. I mean, he certainly played a hell of a game yesterday, and I think that, overall, I think he showed flashes of what he can be. I would go back to the roster lock versus the inside track. I think he has a good chance of making this roster, but again, hasn't shown quite enough to be a quote-unquote lock. He's not going to be a starter, of course, but I think he could be a high-end backup for this team. Mixing around, he showed what he could do coming up to make a big-time sack in that play. And I think if they can use him, pulling him up from the back end of the secondary and pulling him into the box to be a physical safety, I think that could absolutely be a talent for this Jet team that, we don't really know who the strong safety or what the identity is in this safety room. So I think absolutely a depth piece at the strong safety spot that you're talking about coming up to make plays could prevent a tremendous amount of value for this Jet team. But again, not sure he's a lock. Let's see what him and a lot of the other secondary guys do final preseason.
Chris?
See, that's such a hard question to answer. I mean, the safety room is not as Josh said, it's not 100% solidified yet, so there definitely is room. I mean, I'd like to see another good game versus the Packers. So versus the Eagles. My bad. So yeah, I'm really not 100% sure where to stand on that one yet.
Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you smash the like button, hit subscribe, completely free, and it helps us grow significantly right here on the channel. Questions, comments, thoughts, keep them flowing in the chat. We're going to get to those. You guys call into the show with the pinned comment again. Don't forget, every $2 super chat or gifted membership gets you a raffle entry and an opportunity to win a Sauce Gardner signed jersey, a Garrett Wilson signed helmet, a Wanker Bet signed jersey, a CJ Mosley signed jersey, Bart Scott signed photo, Don Maynard signed photo, and the New York Daily News front page following the Jets' 1969 Super Bowl victory. And that comes in a frame as well. Again, every $2 super chat or gifted membership gives you an entry already one day in, and you guys have been so grateful handing out the memberships, handing out the super chats. You see the leaderboard right on the screen down below. There it is, folks. We appreciate your support as always right here on the program. Make sure you get all your super chats and memberships in. The raffle will be drawn. We're drawing winners on September 15th. So make sure you get in on that. More entries you have, the higher chances you have of winning. Now back to the phone lines. Next up here on the show is the great Kyle Clifton, gracing us with his presence. Kyle, good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Good, Kyle. How are you?
Kyle doing good.
So, I guess that Muji and Glenn were giving us their sensibilities when they said through the draft that they were going to fix the run game first, right? They drafted Membu in the first round.
Yep.
Mason Taylor in the second. For someone like me who thinks that, any recent success that we've had, under solid relative success, when we had the defense humming, was with the defense. I would have liked to have seen them try and shore up the defense at some point on the first 2 days. Maybe that would have been the third round where they took A.Z. Thomas.
Yep.
A guy like, I don't know if Jamari Caldwell fits. He's more of a zero technique. But they really could use, and still could use, a one technique to pair with Quinnen.
Like a Joshua Farmer.
Yes. And it really shows, or it showed against the Giants at least. So that's my only concern about, they did take good players in those first 3 rounds. Arian Smith seems to be, kind of panning out. And then, some of these other players look like they have some potential in Moore and Marigold and so on. But, to not get a running mate, someone that can help free up Quinnen, to me, is one of the cardinal sins of this 2025 draft. And you only have so many picks, I get it. And you might not be able to fix everything in 1 year. But if you do truly believe in building through the trenches, you would think that would have been a priority in the first 2 to 4 rounds. That's all.
Now, my question to you, Kyle, is who is that player lining up next to Quinnen come week 1?
Well, if you had asked me before the injury, I would have said Cowart, but, I think that they're probably going to rotate it pretty heavily, to be honest with you. And passing downs, you're going to see a lot of Leonard Taylor III, I think. I think that even though Saleh favored a lot of rotational pieces, I think that you're still going to see it on the interior under Glenn, but he's going to stick to his best players out on the edge to the extent that he can. That's my feeling on it.
Kyle, we appreciate the call. You got any final thoughts?
That's it. Have a great evening, guys.
Thanks,
Ladies and
Kyle.
gentlemen, the great Kyle
you.
Clifton checking in here on the show.
He's
Great
inside.
call as always. He's inside,
He's inside.
and he gave great insight. No pun intended.
Ooh, that's the second
What
time.
a
A good play on words, baby.
What a
Second time.
line. Having
Yep.
a day here on the Next Gen Jet Show. Thank you all
Or
for tuning in. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Jack Cotter, Chris Grasso, Josh Woolever, I'm Connor Long. Right here with you guys on the show. Keep all the questions, comments, thoughts flowing in the chat. Load up your calls by using the pin link at the top of the chat. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. Keeping it flowing with your calls. The great David T is next up here on the program. David, how we
David,
doing?
it's an honor.
David.
Up,
All right,
David.
fellas. I have to commend all you young fellas. You're so knowledgeable, and you all work well together.
Thank you so
And
much.
Thank you, David.
you,
Appreciate it, David T.
you're welcome. My question is, and I don't know if I just turned the show on not that long ago. I don't know if you touched on it already, but the third string quarterback. I happen to be a Brady Cook fan.
Oh yeah.
Connor loves you.
So what? Yeah, I know that Connor is. That's one of the reasons I wanted to ask, because I know Connor is a fan of Brady Cook. So I worked last night and I got home, and then I did the replay of the game, and I know it's only highlights and everything, but Hernandez did a decent job. Of course, Fields, the concern is his arm. But and maybe I'm trying to pull a rabbit out of a hat, but it just looked like Brady Cook was focused, reading the defenses, and looked like he was in control and threw a nice ball.
I thought
So
Brady. I will say I thought Adrian Martinez yesterday. David had the better game compared to Brady Cook going 12 of 21, 114 yards. The interception. So the stat line's a little skewed. I think he looked a lot better during in game than the stat line proved. But Brady Cook certainly improved from his shaky outing against Green Bay. 6 of 11, 74 yards, and a touchdown. The thing that I really like about Brady Cook the most, David, is his true dual threat ability overall as a passer and a runner. Frankly, he's mobile. He's able to, and we have the lower third block, and you saw pull that off quickly. He's mobile. He has the ability. He has the ability to make plays with his legs. As a passer, he doesn't turn the ball over. So, do I think he's a NFL caliber starting quarterback right now? No. Can he develop into a long-term backup over the next few years? Absolutely. That dual threat ability, coupled with the fact that he doesn't turn the ball over often, I think is really special. And I think that's what makes him the player that he is, coming out as an undrafted free agent with a real chance to make a captivating push for this roster. That's what I like the most out of Brady Cook. I just think he brings a lot of intrigue as well. He's a prototypical build, 6'2", 212 pounds. His last score ranked 30th out of 993 quarterbacks from 1987 to 2025. He opens up yak opportunities for receivers, hits them in stride. That's my overall profile on Brady Cook, David, and I just like the
yeah,
outcome, the outlook that he brings for the future in the NFL. I have Martinez making the roster as the third quarterback, but I have the Jets stashing Brady Cook on the practice squad as they continue to kind of hold on to that hope and upside with him and view him as a developmental project.
yeah, dual threat as opposed to Fields where the arm concern, and I just by this time I just don't know whether that could be taught yet or whatever. But so hypothetically, I am really rooting for Justin Fields, but if it goes through this year where it doesn't look like he's going to be the quarterback of the future, then and you still have Brady Cook. I mean, do you still draft another quarterback this coming year, or you're like, well, we got Hernandez and Brady Cook, and we're gonna go from there.
I really don't think, David, that having Adrian Martinez or Brady Cook on your roster will shield the Jets from drafting a quarterback whatsoever. Again, these guys are shots in the dark, if you will. These are flyers who have high ceilings, but certainly shouldn't neglect the Jets from taking a quarterback whatsoever. If Justin Fields doesn't work out and the Jets win 4 or 5 games this season, then you undoubtedly take a quarterback in the first round. I don't
Right.
anticipate that Cook or Martinez will all shield the Jets from doing that or not allow them to, unless Brady Cook somehow or Martinez somehow gets in a regular season game this year and it's a Tom Brady situation where they never take him off the field, and obviously those chances are
Right.
less than 1 in a trillion. So
Right. And with
that is
those two guys, and I'm more a positive type person. But
yes.
anyway, this year with I guess more than a few really good quarterbacks available in the draft for next year, we're not in. And like I said, I'm super rooting for Justin Fields, but we're not in that bad of a situation if we have to draft a quarterback in the first round next year, then so be it.
David, we appreciate the call, my friend. You got any final thoughts?
No, that's it. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Ladies and
David.
gentlemen, David T, baby, checking in with us right here on the show as Chris just continues to ambiguously leave the screen on and off. I can't hear a word that you're saying.
Chris, do you think my mic lags, dude? Come on. Your clanker phone
Oh
is
my
doing
God.
something.
I can't hear a word that you're saying. I can't hear a word that you're saying. Restart your phone and come back, Chris, all right? All right, there we go.
My
ladies
mic
and
crashes
gentlemen.
out.
Chris Grasso and his shitty Wi-Fi right here on the Next Gen Jet Show. Thank you all for joining us right here on the program. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, completely free, and it helps us grow significantly on the channel. Keep the questions, comments, thoughts flowing in the chat. Call into the show with the pinned comment. Keep loading up everything in the chat. We'll get to your calls. Get your super chats. Get your memberships in because they, of course, earn you raffle entries. Matthew Frank in the building tonight. Let's give the starters at least 2 series Friday evening.
Yes.
Philly, question mark. Appreciate you tuning in, Matthew. Philly will not be playing their starters. I put anything on the fact that won't be happening 1,000%. They literally benched their backups during their preseason game this week. So you're not seeing any Jalen Hurts. You're not seeing any you potentially might not even see any Tanner McKee, depending on how things ultimately play out. But I think the starters, look, I'm not going to make an assessment based on what happens next week if Fields throws for 300 yards over 2 quarters going against the Eagles' third team defense. But I think these are guys who need reps. They just need more reps ahead of the season. So I'd say if it's the last 2 series, first 2 series whatsoever, I want to see starters again before week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, especially with the way that these starters have been playing the way the starters played last night, especially offensively for the Jets, very shaky. They did not really look in sync with each other. So I think it's really important, especially before we play this highly competitive Steelers defense come week 1. I really think it's important that the Jets at least play their starters for at least 2 more drives, especially upcoming this week against Philly. So just to prepare them for week 1, right? I really think this is all just preparation for week 1. I don't think AG's just throwing them out there just to throw them out there, right? If he was, then I think that'd be stupid. You're throwing them out there for no reason. Obviously, there's a reason for this, and it's to prepare for Pittsburgh. I think it is to prepare for the competitive defense with the Steelers. So I think they need at least 2 more drives.
Look, I think it would be nice, but
I was going to check in with Chris. I just want to hear the audio. Are we good? Oh my God, he can't even hear us.
Chris, dude, come on.
He can't even freaking hear us. He can't even hear us.
Fuck, bro, come on.
But wait, is this better?
oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go. Chris, you're
Can you
back.
hear
Okay.
us, Chris? You got us?
But
Yeah, I got you guys. I'm back.
Being the tech wizard that I am, I knew what to do to figure it out. There we
Yes.
go.
Wow, you're him.
Yeah, Chris, thoughts on this comment
Yeah.
before we go to Josh?
What comment?
Oh my God, you're on phone. I forgot. Matthew Frank says, give the starters at least 2 series on Friday evening versus Philly.
Oh,
He's
110%. I mean, I want to see a good drive from Justin Fields, and you can take the starters out. I want to see Justin Fields have a good, nice rhythm on the passing game. Maybe complete a nice medium to long range pass with good ball placement, reading the defense nicely. That's all stuff. I mean, we're obviously not going to see all that in one game, but I like to see a solid drive from Justin Fields. So before we take him out,
Josh.
Look, to me, it would be nice to give the starters 2 series, and I want to see Justin Fields and the starting 11 go out there, play the best football that they possibly can. But, you know, in Aaron Glenn's perspective, you got to think about this in a critical lens. Imagine one of these guys goes down, the criticism that he receives, after you played him in the first 2 games, and you get the real season next week. I can absolutely see a scenario in which this is 1 driver fewer for Aaron Glenn. And I think there's also a scenario where, maybe Justin Fields gets a drive or a series of reps, but there's some guys that have shown you enough that don't go in there for injury reasons. I could see a scenario where guys like Armand Membu, Braylon Allen have shown me enough times 2 this preseason. They have been both so great where I could see a scenario where absolutely, Aaron Glenn doesn't risk an injury from those two guys. Look, it would be nice to get the full front five up there to gel, but obviously without John Simpson, you're not in that real environment anyways. And with the Joe Tippmann, Josh Myers thing continuing to happen, who gets starting reps there, I could absolutely see Myers getting run with the ones as his last opportunity to finally make somewhat of a push to get the starting center job. So I could see Aaron Glenn mixing things up between the ones and the twos and giving the guys that he's seen enough of the day off and give them 2 weeks rest before the season starts.
And I agree with the risk there, Josh, like you outlined, and you did a great job doing that. I just don't think Aaron Glenn is afraid of that. He's said on the record multiple times that just injuries are a part of the game. He's led a much more physical practice day in and day out in Florham Park. We've seen starters the first 2 preseason games. The third preseason game tends to be the most laid back among all of them.
Yeah.
The first one is kind of just the opener, the opening of the curtains, see what you have with all your different players. And then the second game is the most important for every player. The third game is you might see starters for a series or 2 with a team like the Jets. And then the rest of it is kind of the guys who have no chance of making the roster. Normally organizations are nice enough to just put them on a pedestal and give them an opportunity to show out for, other teams out there. So the third game is typically the most relaxed. So I think if we saw starters these first 2 weeks from Glenn, he won't be afraid to trot him out for another week. John in the building. Good to see you, John. I got you repping. Why? In the chat, good to see you, repping.
What's
Why?
up,
Appreciate
repping?
you
Why?
tuning in. Alan says if there's truly a robust market for Brian Robinson Jr., now might be the best time to deal Breece Hall. Furthermore, Jalen Tolbert is available. Day 3 swaps would work. If you get me Jalen Tolbert and a 7th round pick, Jalen Tolbert and a 6th round pick swap or 7th round pick swap, I'd give Breece Hall and a 6th round pick for Jalen Tolbert.
Not even gonna entertain that.
How?
What do you mean? How the upside that Breece has
Here
heading
we
into the
go.
season with a run first offense does not. We're no.
Jalen Tolbert had 600 yards and 7 touchdowns as a receiver last year. Look,
That doesn't
I don't know.
matter.
See,
Connor,
I don't
Connor, I have a
overreact.
question for you. Is it because he hasn't shown you a lot throughout these preseason games? Is it injury risk or is it an expiring deal?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Is it expiring deal, injury risk, or he hasn't shown you anything in the preseason? Or a combination of all
Look,
three?
I see it's a combination of all of them. I just you're getting nothing for Breece Hall. He's just I think he's just viewed as damaged goods around the league right now.
To me, Chris, I think it's a better idea to entertain a trade than it is to entertain the idea of Breece Hall being extended for 4 more years on this Jet team. Let's be honest.
Josh, thoughts on Chris's take that the Jets should roster Donovan Edwards over Isaiah
That was rage bait. I'd like to make that very clear.
That was not
because
rage bait.
Donovan
Yeah, what do you
Edwards
mean that
has
was not
one
rage bait?
good run.
I was so for those who are not familiar with what rage baiting is, I was trying to make Connor Long mad, right? And
You
I
didn't
said
get me mad at all. I was just like,
you were saying
I have the text here.
you
look.
were texting obscenities
Those
in our
unfamiliar.
group chat.
Have
Listen,
to-
it was not pretty, but listen, I do not believe that Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen, Breece Hall all have a 3-headed monster, and we see our little chats right there, but
watch
yeah.
this rage bait.
Yes, but so I mean, listen, we're gonna have a good running back from this season, highlighted by Breece Hall. This is really, if you want to deal Breece by the trade deadline, if he's not playing good, fine. But you have to at least give him a chance
But
to
you're not
shine
going
in
to
the
get
run first
anything,
offense.
Chris.
How do you know? You cannot be sure of that.
Torn ACL running
see,
back on an expiring deal.
I'm
and is
trading
willing to
Breece
give
Hall.
up
I'm
capital for
trading
that.
Breece Hall pretty much under any circumstance at the trade deadline.
Even if he's
Unless-
excelling as a
unless-
rusher.
No, if
unless
this is
you're
a
making a
playoff
playoff
team, no.
push.
If this team is
Unless you're a playoff team, exactly, and he's playing his best brand of football.
If what?
If
Unless
this team is-
unless you're multiple games over 500 at the deadline, you're
Well,
making.
no, if we're at 500 and he's playing, he's playing solid to good, I'm keeping him.
Chris, if this is a 3-win football team at the deadline and Breece Hall's playing out of his mind, do you want to keep him and try to extend him long term?
no,
or would you rather trade him while he's hot?
You trade him.
I'm asking Chris.
Yeah.
So how define playing out of his mind?
Like he's well on his way to your 1,500-yard season. He's has whatever already 6 to 8 touchdowns.
Well on his way, I keep him. That shows that he's recovering from the injury fine, and he's going to be a key piece in your team in the future. I'm definitely keeping him. He's on pace to the standards that I set for him coming into
over a
this season.
4th round pick, over a 3rd round.
100% over a 3rd and 4th round pick. God, don't disrespect Breece Hall like this. God,
A 3rd
damn.
round pick.
God, bro.
Third round pick is such a premium asset nowadays. That's
You can get a better
What a
running back
joke.
than Brees Hall in the third round, Chris.
undoubtedly so. Dino says, Connor, I have no power in upstate New York, so I got out the generator just so I could tune in tonight. I just wanted to say one thing. All the negative Jet fans need to jump ship. Dino,
Alan.
I'm honored that it prompted
unfortunately, we're
you
trapped.
to it prompted you to get out the generator tonight so you can listen. I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate that you enjoy the show. Negative Jet fans will be negative Jet fans. Look, there's the realistic Jet fans, which I like to dub myself as. There's the optimistic Jet fans, and then there's the pessimistic Jet fans.
And we have
I tend to lie
every
in the
right. to
somewhere in
be-
the middle there.
Every
This
right to be
panel has
pessimistic.
all of the above, I feel like.
Yes.
What's
Chris, you're
sorry?
out- I said this panel has all of the above, I feel like.
Who's the pessimistic Jet fan here?
Jack sometimes. What is it,
See-
7-win
sometimes,
ceiling?
yeah.
So I know you guys want to dub me as
Okay, that was also like
wait till
4
this
months
team.
ago.
You
Wait till this
are so
team starts
optimistic,
0-2.
Chris.
Wait till this team starts 0-2. See how pessimistic I
Chris,
get.
You're
Wait till-
optimistic.
No. I believe you can be pessimistic. Believe me. All of
Chris,
these
we're gonna
fans
we should
all
have a
offseason long.
segment.
Oh no, we know how pessimistic you were. You are, Chris, because we saw the Jets move on from Aaron Rodgers, and you were one unhappy camper. But all I
bro,
can tell you
you
is
should
this whole
have seen
offseason,
me in my
you
house.
were praising
the night-
Aaron Glenn. It's like whatever Aaron
is
Glenn
corner.
does, Chris is gonna do next. Like he buys
So,
Chris.
listen, I think this is the way it
Chris
is.
wants
Jack's
Chris.
the more pessimistic one out of us. Saying the most
Ceiling 7 and 10. Ceiling 7.
ceiling
Oh,
seven.
that's bad.
Ceiling
Gotta look at a
7.
realistic approach. Come on.
Ceiling is 7 and 10, and that's because
You got to look at a realistic approach here.
Chris is the more optimistic one out of us, and Josh and I are kind of the more even keeled. You know, we don't get too high on the team, we don't get too low.
I would agree.
Nevertheless,
But every week when the Jets lose, we should have a segment called Chris's Corner where Chris just rants for 10 minutes about this damn team.
I'm all
He's
for
gonna be like, "Oh, Justin Fields sucks. We need to get rid of his ass." Like it's gonna
I'm gonna make a montage by week 10 to play on the show.
have like a whole reel. Yeah.
yeah.
The team's
of-
gonna be 2-8. He's gonna be fire Aaron Glenn.
Oh God!
can't
Here we go.
Oh my gosh, Chris,
There we
come on, man.
go. Boo.
Can't hear him again. Chris, drop off.
Always
In the
the
meantime,
basement
as
sticking to
Chris
Wi-Fi.
continues to deal with the Wi-Fi issues yet again. Up next here on the show, joining us on the phone lines is the great Michael Levinson, joining us right here on the program. Michael, how you doing, my friend?
What's going on, guys? If you remember,
Michael.
probably not, Con. I called you Wednesday morning when you were filling in for Jake.
Yes, of course.
And-
I remember you, Michael.
And I said to you, I need to see more on Saturday night when they go up against the Giants defense. And just what happened, okay. And I called Jake this morning because he had to talk me off the ledge. Okay.
Yeah.
He is who he is. He's not a passer. He's never been a pocket passer. And when he gets rushed, we're done. I mean, that screen to Wilson, you can't bounce that. That pass that should have been in front of him.
Terrible
He only
pass.
threw 4 passes, and one pass that he completed, he ran out to the left and I guess hit what's his name?
Mason Taylor in the
yeah.
flat on a bootleg.
I mean, come on. I mean, listen, like Josh said, we're gonna have up and downs. We're gonna kill him one week, and he's gonna win a game another week, and we're gonna have to live with that. He's not the answer to our future. Okay. As far as the running game, yeah, they can run the ball 40 times, but once they stack the box, they're gonna ask Fields to beat us. That's not gonna happen. And listen, those 10 runs on that first drive, okay, there was no Dexter Lawrence in there either.
No,
Okay.
not on the inside.
Okay,
And that's
so-
what allowed Tippmann and AVT on the right side to just maul and create those huge holes.
Exactly. And they're not even letting him pass the ball downfield. And that's whatever. But and then another thing, it's just we have to get Smith in with the ones. Give him a chance to play with the ones. Okay? This has to be on Friday. Arian Smith has to play with the ones. Because everyone's still killing him for these drops. And like you said, that one on the sideline, that was pass interference, all right?
Yes.
He dropped one, he made 3 more. I mean, let's get him, the ball there, I just think it's going to be an up and down season, and it's going to be a tough one. I mean, it really is, I think. What do you guys think?
Definitely, and
Yeah.
up and down has been the definition of this team for so many years, and I think it's going to stay that way, especially when you look at a quarterback like Justin Fields. And Michael, I don't know if you caught the top of the show, but I really touched on the fact that Justin Fields, the reason I think it's going to be so up and down, especially from a Jet fan perspective, is everyone has so many different standards for Justin Fields. There are a group of people that are so high on Justin Fields and set expectations that I just don't think are, reasonable to expect out of him this season. And then some anticipate and think that he's not even a starting caliber quarterback in the league. I am not in the group of, the people that think Justin Fields should be a top 5 quarterback in the league this year, top 5, top 10 quarterback.
No.
I'm more optimistic on Fields than pessimistic. Like, I think he can lead this team to an 8-win season, undoubtedly this year. But I think a lot of it has to do, Michael, with playing to his strengths. You mentioned his passing ability there. This is his 5th. He's entering his 5th NFL season. And you don't teach passing at this juncture of a career. You can't teach it. You either have it or you don't when it comes to being a pocket passer and having that true natural ability. Fields doesn't have that ability, and it ranges all the way back to his time at Ohio State. The two biggest issues with him were his pocket passing and his ability to read and manipulate defenses. Look, that puts him at a disadvantage if you're talking about a Jared Goff type player, a Baker Mayfield type player in that sense. But there's a way to avoid that into today's NFL and to lead a team to 8 or 9 wins without having to be just the traditional pocket passer. And I think that's where Tanner Engstrand comes in, and that's where I think the importance of his role on this coaching staff comes in as the innovative mind to create and tailor a playbook towards Justin Fields' strengths.
Well, can you see Wilson getting another 1,000-yard season with this guy? I don't think so.
I can.
100%. I mean,
he's the only passing option. That's
Justin Fields targets wide receiver 1 like crazy. We saw this happen in Chicago with DJ Moore. So, I mean, I think Garrett Wilson is primed for a great season.
But he'll be double covered every time.
Right. I mean, I think defenses will scheme around him, but to me, back to the Fields discussion, he's nothing more than a high-quality bridge quarterback. I think in my mind, there's a less than 10% chance after his 2-year deal he gets re-signed. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I think this is a
I agree. Right now,
team.
I'm the biggest proponent of upside is just potential until it gets turned into fruition, and all he has right now is just potential. That's what we're riding the coattails of. But Michael, what I saw out of him last year in Pittsburgh, well, first, the biggest thing for me with Justin Fields is he's improved every single year. That's the most important thing, and he's on his final opportunity. There's a reason that the Bears traded the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft after his 2nd season because of the caliber of play that he showed. Like last year against Pittsburgh, I'm going to pull up the 17 game stats would have equated to, but 4-2, 65.8% completion, over 1,000 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, an interception, and then on the ground he also added 289 rushing yards and 5 more touchdowns as well. So I think the biggest thing for me with Fields, we've seen him improve year in and year out. And what we saw from him in 6 games with Pittsburgh, did they let him air the ball out downfield? No, but overall it equated to wins. And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
But they benched him because they saw the film and saw that he was missing open receivers with his eyes. He wasn't trusting his eyes. He wasn't going for that. So they figured,
they benched him because they had a guarantee in place that Russell Wilson was going to be the starting quarterback once he came back from injury. I guarantee you, Michael, that if Mike Tomlin could go back in time, he wouldn't have taken Justin Fields off that football field. No pun intended there. But 4 of the Steelers' 10 wins last year came by way of Justin Fields. Justin Fields played in 6 games. That's near half of their win total.
And one last point. Can we please sign Clowney? He's out there. I mean, why wouldn't you sign him now?
I'm more of a Zadarius Smith guy, Michael.
Let's
because
go,
anybody,
Michael.
An edge rusher with
Let's
a
get anybody at this point.
down of NFL football.
We have the money.
Why do you think he was the number 1 pick?
Everywhere he's
That was
gone
like
on
10
1
years
year
ago.
deals, everywhere he's gone on number 1 deals, he's gave you worth that year. That money was worth it.
Give him a prove it deal, Michael. He's a free agent. There's no other team that wants him at this point. He'll be willing to sign for what? Less than $5 million, and the Jets have the cap to do it.
And
Get a vet in the building, add depth, get him on the field.
Get fired up, Josh.
I'm so damn tired of Michael Clemens on this football team.
Tell you,
Get Jadeveon Clowney out here.
And he'll play for this coach. He
Let's
will play
go.
for this coach.
And he has experience. As a veteran as a veteran edge rusher, and maybe my Gamecock bias is in here a little bit, but I want Jadeveon Clowney on this.
Tell you what, Josh, you sold me.
I like Clowney. I like Zadarius Smith even more. He's younger than Clowney. He's been a 10-sack guy year in and year out. Has experience.
No problem with that either, but Clowney's
one
cheaper.
system. I'm all for it.
I think Clowney wants a 1-year deal, and Smith
1-year
I
deal,
want more.
$10 million. 1 year, $10 million.
Less. Clowney will take less.
No, I'm telling you, every deal he got on a 1-year deal was 12 or 13. If you look at it,
He's not taking $5
he's not
million.
signing $5, $6, $7 million. Not a chance.
I
have
think
the
he
money, though.
absolutely would. There's no team out there that's giving him a chance yet. His time's running out.
Maybe because they're not paying him what he wants.
Look, we'll talk about the money, but at the end of the day, the Jets have the cap space to sign him $10 million, $12 million.
It doesn't matter.
Get him in the building. I don't care how much money you paid
Exactly.
the guy. You dished out $36 million to Brandon Stevens.
And he's
for
playing
crying out
well.
loud.
He's playing well.
I love Stevens. I think $36 million will always be an overpay unless he's a top 10 cornerback, which I don't think he is, but he's been flying around. The pass breakup he made yesterday, Michael, when he got beat in coverage, but he flew all the way back on that comeback route and was right there to make the play.
Hey, listen, in sports now, every contract is overpaying, so let's not even worry about money. That's what sports is these days. Guys, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Good job, man.
Thanks, Michael.
Appreciate the call, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Gotcha.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Levinson checking in on the show.
Great call.
First-time caller on the show called me when I was filling in for Jake Asman on Tuesday. What a guy, what a call. Call back, Michael. You you give great takes, great insight.
100%.
Obviously, you could tell longtime Jet fan there. Just the insight he was given, the emphasis he was putting on certain points. Great take there, absolutely, from our guy Michael Levinson. Chris, is your phone alive?
Yes, I'm good. Dude, we got to end the show soon,
Apparently
right? I
it's
swear to God, my
exploded.
phone's going to blow up and kill everybody in this house.
We have a lot of questions to indulge into.
Oh,
we
my.
have phone calls to indulge into as well.
Let's go, baby.
Jesus.
Nice
If
young,
your
Chris.
phone is a danger to or a threat to anyone's life, I recommend that you hop off StreamYard if that time must come.
If I were to keep on lagging out, so,
I bet you Alan's rooting for that as well. So
listen,
Alan probably is making it explode.
Jack, what are you talking about, bro?
thank you all. We appreciate it. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, keep the questions, comments, thoughts flowing in the chat right here on the show. And the names got all messed up because Chris Grasso's phone is
Listen, I'm not in my house. Cut me some slack, for God's sakes.
We appreciate your support as always. You guys call into the show with the pin comment. We'll stay on here a little longer, a lot longer actually, because you guys are engaging here on the show. So keep loading up your calls, keep getting your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat, super chats, memberships. They cut the line, they get your raffle entries. Our friend R.H. Meno says, Connor. Well, first off, comes in with a $10 super chat. So much appreciated, my friend. Thank you so much for your support. And Jack wants to sing you a song. 8 Meno.
I am Jack Cotter, and I love the 2020 Jets. All I care about, the 2020 Jets. After that, don't matter. The 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020. Crazy. Jets will win 6 games no matter what. Their ceiling is 7 games, but Chris says, what the fuck? Jimmy in the chat always talking crap, but it don't.
Connor, Josh, Jack, Chris, keep up the great work. You young men are doing a great job. That means a lot, my friend. Thank you so much for dropping in. He says it's no problem, but it's you hate me now. That's what it is. I had no clue. I'm bad. I'm awful with deciphering the names here. Thank you for the clarification. You hate me now. I appreciate you tuning in. And we appreciate your support right here on the program. They get you 5 raffle entries, and we will throw that right up on the scrolling ticker down below. Appreciate your support again, guys. Keep all the super chats, keep all the memberships flowing because they go a long way to supporting us here on the show, and they get your raffle entries for our epic membership raffle. All the info on that on the scrolling ticker down below. You guys call into the show with the pinned comment at the top of the chat, keeping it going with your calls. Max Malthusius is up next. Am I saying
What's
that
up,
right?
guys? How you guys doing?
How you doing, Max? I'm bad with those names.
Good, Max. How are you?
Good. So my takeaways to the game. So the Jets did not play good. Did not play good. Justin Fields was
No,
not
not at all.
good. Not good at
Just
all.
gotta get the
One
name
out
right,
of 5
Max.
passing,
We get
was
it.
bad.
Max, how do we pronounce the name? I just wanted to clarify.
Matois, but everyone just calls me Touche. You know, it's a very hard last
All right,
name.
how we doing, Touche?
Good.
Love it.
I didn't think the Jets played good. Jets played
No, they did not
sloppy.
at all.
We played sloppy. Justin Fields did not play good. 1 out of 5 passing. Our offense did not play good. I feel like Martinez played good. I think the Giants, on the Giants side, I think the Giants play good. Russell Wilson played good. Jackson Dart played good. And then Jameis Winston also played good against third and fourth stringers. Even DeVito played good. So I feel like the Giants have a deeper quarterback room. And I was actually on Jake Asman earlier. Like a lot of people are trying to think we might get DeVito. If DeVito gets cut, I think he has talent because I remember I feel like he's better than the last team's backups because he's won games in the National Football League. I remember in 2023 when J.L. Jones is injured, Tommy DeVito won a couple games with the Giants. It was a national sensation. What are you guys' thoughts on the Saturday preseason game? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
It's very sloppy overall.
You make a
sloppy.
two takes there, Max Touche. I appreciate you calling in here on the show, and I agree with what you said. Do you have Adrian Martinez on the 53?
I think Martinez can be on the practice squad.
Okay. I like that. I had him on the 53 because I think that we're going to see a lot of him next week. And if he continues to play at this rate, I don't know if he'll be able to clear waivers. That's my main
At any
concern.
rate.
I agree. I think he could be quarterback 3, but I was talking on a lot of shows and are like, oh, we might only carry 2 quarterbacks. That's why Martinez might be on the practice squad.
I think absolutely. It all
Carrying 2
depends on what
quarterbacks is not
Irod's
smart.
looking like.
It's not.
No, but you can elevate him. Chris is the emergency guy, so we'll play anyways.
But it's possible that Fields and Tyrod both get hurt in one game.
Yeah,
like,
you have your
that's
emergency guy.
Yeah, you have an
practice,
emergency.
like,
He can
elevate
still
him up.
play. It's the.
I think they should carry a QB3.
It's the
I agree because I feel like Tyra Taylor is the most injury-prone quarterback in the National Football League.
Yes.
I mean, we haven't seen
Absolutely.
him play in 2 years, so I don't know how
Yeah,
you could say that.
Yeah, I mean, especially Tyrod as a backup is not like reliable by any means. He's gonna get you at most, I'd say 5 games, and then he goes down.
I don't know about at most 5
You're
games.
estimating his injury.
That's like a
time?
Jack
This is-
ceiling. I'm sorry, that's a Jack ceiling. I mean, like at most it could be like 7, 10 games.
Why are you muted? Why are you muting yourself?
This mic is like so strong that it'll pick up my breathing if I don't mute.
Okay.
Bro, you're good, bro. We never hear your breathing.
We've never heard it.
Unmute it. Let's see.
Because I've been on mute.
Let's conduct a restart.
But
Yeah.
even with my phone in this location, I cannot hear your breathing.
Max, we appreciate
fine.
the call, my friend. You
Thanks,
got
You
me.
guys, what are your guys' thoughts on what do you guys want to see for the next game against the Eagles? Like, what are 3 players you guys want
Justin
to see?
Fields.
Zero penalty, not zero penalties. I'm joking there, Max. But the penalty issues got minimized, which I think is something not a lot of people have spoken about from week 1 of the preseason to week 2. Keep narrowing that down. I want to see a strong possession from Justin Fields. I want to see him look more comfortable in this system compared
Bounce
to
back.
last week. And let's see a pass catcher step up. Can we get something from Arian Smith? Can we get him with the ones like previous caller Michael said on the show? Can we get something from Josh Reynolds? He's been invisible all preseason long.
Yeah.
That's my top 3
Wish list.
on my bucket list. My wish list.
One to add there is let's get some good run from the 2s on the offensive line.
Let's get a good
because
Brees Hall run
we've
so we
had-
could shut these people up.
We've had injury problems on the offensive line, so I'm very interested in how guys like Josh Myers play in their run this next week because backup offensive lines are going to be important on
It's
this
not good.
team. Obviously, we have our 5 starters set, so it's not much of a position battle. It's more of a gearing up in case emergency duty is called upon.
Before we let you go, Max, Alan has a question for us in the chat. Says, can Max replace Chris?
Ooh.
Of course, I can replace
Ooh.
Chris.
Oh, he's really
Ooh.
Oh, he's
willing.
down.
Wow.
I'm always down. I'm always down.
You know what they say in the business? Never
We will
say
have
no
a
to an
production
opportunity.
meeting following today's program between Jack, Josh, and myself, and
Wow.
potentially Max will be looped in on that conversation. And Anyone's job is up for grabs. It's the Aaron Glenn mentality that carries here on the Next Gen Jets show.
Always
So
competition. Always in competition.
we will undergo some intense negotiations,
We'll
Max.
study
that
the
could
film.
Potentially
thinking, 3
yield you
years,
as a co-host.
200 million?
You're around every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Good.
Awesome. Max, I appreciate it. You got any final thoughts?
So I want to see less penalties, and then the couple players I want to see. So I want Justin Fields to play. I want to see Mason Taylor. I want to see Arian Smith because I think he played good. I want him in the ones with the offense. 'Cause I feel like he has potential. And then for defense, I want to see Jay Tufele. I mean, he had a promising first game against the Packers, and then I want to see Azari Thomas.
Didn't really show up in game number 2, so that'll.
I heard Azari Thomas is still injured, but I want to see him.
Yeah,
and then I want to see Andre Cisco as well in the final preseason game.
There we go, Max. We appreciate the call, and we'll let you know if you land that job in about 6 hours.
Sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Max
checking in here on the show. What a call that was.
Benching Chris.
Making me nervous.
Fitting for a start.
I was about to say, a call like that, Chris, that has to make you a little nervous, right?
Yeah, it's shaking my boots. That's what they say.
Thank you all for tuning in. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe. Keep growing us here on the show. Call into the show with the pinned comment. You want to get up here, give your thoughts again, questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. We will continue to tether through those. His team has no depth at wide receiver, safety, DN, DT, a recipe for 6-11 season. Chris thinks the same.
I mean, with good coaching, you can overcome those depth deficiencies, if you will.
Not all.
Matthew Dobson. The Jets are going to do a lot of play action, a lot of scheming guys open. We definitely didn't have an opportunity to get in rhythm, but I could see the vision. That play design, I know it was only a 4-yard gain yesterday, Fields to Mason Taylor, and as we do here, Jack,
we hear your breathing
into the microphone. I really like the play.
You guys blamed him. That's your fault. That's your fault. That's our fault.
I really like the play action. Bootleg and that overall play design, especially when you have a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields, to be able to get him outside the pocket. And then you kind of have that dual option situation where he could take off, he could get you 5-7 yards, give you some yardage, get you closer to the first down, or dump it off to a guy like Taylor in the flat. And then you have receivers like Garrett, who we saw in that play, crossing as well. So I really like that overall play design for a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields. Jack.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna want to use Fields to all of his strengths, you really got to put in like a more of a. Obviously, we know it's gonna be a run first offense, but not just any run first. Like, I don't really like the thought of a shotgun offense. I don't really like that. If you're gonna use a shotgun offense, use it for like, I don't know, speed options or read options, and that's it. Otherwise, go I formation, go anything where you can use the fullback with Andrew Beck and just use that to your full advantage. Have him and Braylon really as your lead blockers. If you're gonna do like, think of it as like. I don't really. It's hard to put it into words because this offense, it's similar to my vision, but at the same time, like not like it's like kind of think of it as like Army's offense. Kind of, I kind of want to see a little bit of maybe like Army's offense put into the offense. I think that'll fit this offense so well.
That was a poor job by me pulling up that comment. I was planning on holding that for a while, and I accidentally clicked it. So
see the impulses get to us sometimes, man.
We will revert to that comment shortly here on the show, but I agree with what you're saying. I love that play design for Fields 100%.
Yeah, and one thing I will notice, I've throughout camp and throughout the preseason, I know in the preseason they don't give away everything, but I've seen a lot more motion out of this Jets offense so far. So I mean, I'm excited to see their ability to scheme guys open. That's what we're really gonna need with Garrett Wilson to kind of combat their defense being able to scheme heavily around him.
Jack, what I have to disagree with you on is the fact that you said you want this offense to run like an Army.
You guys asked it to.
I think that'll be a good. I'm not saying
Jack,
Jack, let
me talk. Jack, let me talk. You want them to run a single wing offense with 2 running backs and an option for Justin Fields, where you have Beck back there and Braylon Allen back there every single play. Talk about predictability.
Order.
That is the definition of predictability. You go into a single wing offense. What are you going to do? Hit Jeremy Ruckert on a go route? Like, I mean, that is just asking for defense.
We're not going to hit him. He's going to drop it and they hit him in the head.
Listen.
Josh is right.
Jack. But I don't think I'm going to take anything out of it. Go ahead, though.
I didn't say center it around Army's offense. I said maybe throw some schemes that's like Army's offense in
You
there.
just
What I
said
did
you're
say is-
tired of the shotgun formation. You want to see them?
Yes, but let me speak.
I've never
Let me
watched
speak.
Army
Please, I let you have your time. I let
They
you have
run
your
it
time.
every
Let me
single
speak.
play, Connor. They throw 10 times this season.
Let me speak.
Yeah,
Let me speak. I
that's
let you have your
college.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So
Jack.
anyway, okay. You put them in the I formation where you have Andrew Beck and Braylon Allen as lead blockers if
I
you're going to
get
run
the
it with Justin,
idea.
and
It's
still
just-
have Andrew Beck as a lead blocker. That even if you're not going to run it with Justin, you still have
Great
a plan with
idea,
Braylon
but
Allen.
how do
still
you
have
mix
Andrew
it up
Beck.
from there? How do you mix it up from there? Or Tanner
not
Engstrand's
totally-
playbook is
I'm
run
not
up the middle or
totally
run outside.
eliminate. I'm not saying totally eliminate shotgun. You can still have a lot of shotgun, but I feel like what we've seen out of
You
this.
said you don't want to
But
see
why-
any
wait.
shotgun.
You just said don't use
I said
shotgun.
I
You
wanna
said
Jack
see
is
more
saying you
shotgun.
want to
Oh,
utilize the I
Mike.
formation to its fullest ability.
I wanna
Like,
use-
you
yeah.
want to use that as your main weapon. I'm not
I
saying
don't want
agree
to. I don't want to
disagree, I'm
fully.
saying-
I don't want to fully eliminate shotgun. But if you're going to use shotgun, like I literally said at the beginning of it, I said if we want to use shotgun, use it for speed options or read options or triple
This
options.
is not a
That is
realistic
it.
approach. This is not a
I
realistic.
think it is.
So Jack,
I gotta use these guys.
You wanna
so
model
I
us-
think
You got to look at a realistic approach here.
Not realistic.
no.
Seriously.
Eventually, Justin Fields has to be able to complete, even if it's just like a slant or a quick flat pass. Out, like he has to be able to pass in a definite
You can run
passing
a- you
situation.
can run an
Yeah,
RPO
Jack,
in
why
the
not
out
run a
of the eye.
wildcat offense then?
Yeah,
Why-
but out of the why? Like this, you have to
Why not-
you have to be able to pass out of shotgun. That's a basic.
Yeah, why not
So-
direct
so
snaps
we
to
have
Braylon Allen if you want to do that, Jack?
I just think based off what we've seen out of the past 2 games, I get it's not their main scheme, but it seems like the shotgun hasn't really been working for Fields, especially the last game.
So
Like-
Joe, I understand.
Well, obviously it's
I
not
understand.
his
I
strength.
understand the desire to switch it up and tailor it to Justin Fields' strengths. But I think that we have to kind of put Justin Fields through a test this season to see if he's
Yeah.
going to amount to anything. And so a part of that is being able to be at least like 50% from definite passing situations. That's not asking a lot at all. That's not asking a lot. So you have to be able to pass from the shotgun. You have to be able to do all this. And I understand he's not doing it great. So if we're in a must-win situation in a game, yes, we can go make Justin Fields feel comfortable and play the offense to its guaranteed strengths, but we also have to be able to pass out of the shotgun. So I kind of understand where you're coming from,
No, absolutely,
but
absolutely.
we cannot eliminate that element, and I know that's not what you were saying, so we're good.
Gotta control practice. I gotta stop them and tell them to go.
They got horns now and everything. Like it's not always coaches don't always wear it.
Well, listen, they are in tune to this right now. So when this dude, they know what that means.
That's what Aaron Glenn would say. Blow a whistle at you guys.
Yes, coach.
For saying that. Look, obviously shotgun will never be Justin Fields' strength. That is never who he will be as a player. That's not who he is. That's not his true skill set. But you can never fully eliminate shotgun. That's not what will ever make sense or ever truly work.
I'm
Actually,
not fully eliminating it. I mean,
you've made that clear, Jack.
Okay. Listen,
No,
I said it
you
maybe
made
about
it clear.
2 times now.
Jack, you made it clear that you that's not what you meant. So we're good.
That's
We're
what I'm
moving on.
saying.
Jack would not understand that one, but we're good.
Back, I'll let Chris engage with every single one of Alan's comments and have him answer it. Says GW got overpaid. Can't wait for him to start to bitch and complain, and it's coming.
Why would he bitch and complain when Justin Fields targets wide receiver 1 most of the time? Because he's kind of one-dimensional guy, as we both know. So you saw how he targeted DJ Moore. Garrett Wilson's not going to bitch because he's going to get plenty of targets.
Gator McCluskey says, "Why is Josh's microphone bigger than his head?"
Gator, it's a good quality microphone. I got no complaints. I'll
It's
bring it
bigger
over
than
here.
your head.
Is the brand
Wait,
like
can we do a
Cranker or
side by
something?
side? Can you pick it up off the ground and like?
Oh,
put it in?
it's way big. From base to top, it's bigger. Yeah,
Oh my
That's
god!
like something I would
that's
really
not
like.
that ridiculous. But look, Connor, yours is probably close too if you stand yours up. I'm talking about just the microphone portion that picks up audio isn't bigger.
Well, obviously,
Looks like something I really like,
It's
actually.
half your head. It's half.
my base is.
What's your base, Connor?
Well,
Chris, if you were at home, you would have the same exact thing. We have the same mic.
This is my base. That's why
Okay,
we're
I
doing
can
it.
unscrew my mic and have that be my base.
The
too. My
base,
base
the
is almost
shaft.
like here.
Look, I have a big long mic right
Connor,
over there, and it's
Jack,
so good.
your base.
I
is
need
in
to get a
your
new
mouth,
mic.
buddy.
Yeah, Jack, you do need to get a new mic.
No, I'm talking about from my mic. I have a Toner T7, whatever it's called.
Oh
But
my
like the audio keeps cutting out. I had to re-record a video maybe like 3 times already. It was like 2 videos ago. I had to re-record it 3 times because the audio kept on cutting out. It's so annoying. Like I'm looking to get maybe like Shure. Like Shure produces great products.
That's the one that I
Jack, you
do you have
gotta.
an XLR mixer?
Yeah, I have an XLR mixer. That's the one I use for.
Yeah, next time I see you, I'll give it to you. Or I can just mail it to you. I have a Shure. I
think
have
it's Shure FM7 or FM7, whatever it's called.
No, I'll go get it when I'm done with the show, and I'll show it to you on call. But it's like a really high quality mic, and you just need an XLR mixer for it. And I'm not using it, so I will give that to you, so you do not have to spend
Hell yeah.
bank
Appreciate it, Connor.
on a new mic.
What a guy.
Christmas came early for Jack Cotter.
Jason says no time to panic yet. Completely
100%.
agree. In agreement with you, Jason. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your support on the show. Gangrene Goliath. Love how the now and next Jets generation talk. Much respect to Young Guns and Jet Up. Gangrene Goliath.
Much love.
Thank you so much,
I appreciate the support right here on the program. Greg says nothing good from Fields so far. Nothing good from him last night. But
Packers game.
Packers game, rushing touchdown. Listen.
If I see this in the regular season, I'll panic, but not right now, folks. Preseason. Alan, what do you think Watt and Highsmith are? Jets better pray that Hayward holds out. Yeah, I mean, Cam Hayward's missed a huge contractual holdout right now that I don't think has received enough coverage. But yeah, I like I said, the Steelers, the Cowboys, all these teams have elite defenses. Fields needs to get the ball out quick.
And that's so unfair to Hayward, by the way, because he's like the longest, I think second longest tenured Pittsburgh Steeler, and he deserves to be paid. But listen, let's just pay him after the Jet game. Let's go. Perfect.
Let's do that. John says, gentlemen, Trey Hendrickson was on the trade block. Would you trade Breece Hall and Jermaine Johnson straight up for him?
What? Oh my God.
No.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank God you guys have some sense on this one, bro.
The trade package as a whole, like that package, not taking money into account, absolutely. I would do that in a heartbeat. Pure, flat out heartbeat. But the fact that you have to pay Trey Hendrickson and make him one of the highest paid non-quarterbacks in the league is where we differ.
Boys, if Trey Hendrickson is willing to play,
how old is he?
Hold on.
27.
If Trey Hendrickson is willing to play on his current contract, and absolutely Jermaine Johnson and Breece Hall,
30.
these guys
Oh my God, Jermaine is so much younger than him.
Chris, in it.
30.
Chris.
30.
Who's the better player, Trey Hendrickson or Breece Hall and Jermaine?
Jermaine Johnson, Trey Hendrickson has had 17.5 sacks these past years.
Back-to-back years.
13 and a half. Like,
He's
I'm not even.
30.
Chris,
he has had 17 and a half.
30.
Chris, and the entire rest of the Bengals offense had the same amount of sacks last year. That's ridiculous.
He's 30. Jermaine Johnson, if he gets back to being where he is, he can be in that echelon and more.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
You got to be kidding me. Are you kidding me? Chris, if I can't hear you, but I don't want to hear you. I can't hear you, but I don't want to hear you.
I can't even hear you, Chris.
I can't even hear you, Chris. Welcome, buddy. You and your take, get out of here. You, your camera, your take, bye. Bye. That's ridiculous.
Restart the phone for an 8th time, Chris. Restart a phone for an 8th time. There we go.
Maybe try moving locations too.
That needs to get rid of that clanker phone.
Yeah, Jack, I want to get into a text that you actually sent while we were on the show. You said,
let's go.
And I quote, midway through the show, as I think I don't remember who called in, but he said, so excited to share my piece of ultimate art tonight with you guys. This story has been an emotional roller coaster. Not finished yet, but some good parts already. What does this mean?
At 8:29.
It's quite the book I'm writing right now about a certain topic.
Oh, Jack, what is your book about?
It's about a certain topic. I think it's about a certain type of droid.
Flankers.
Interesting. Yes. An interesting take there. I like the comment, John, though. Like if you didn't have to pay Trey Hendrickson the copious amount of cash that he's going to demand, I would undoubtedly look to facilitate that deal.
So do you guys not think Jermaine Johnson, seriously though, don't think Jermaine Johnson can get to that echelon that
no, Jermaine Johnson's never touching 17.5 sacks.
So how can you be so sure of that though?
How could you be so sure that he will?
No, I'm saying betting on
How could you be
upside.
so sure that he will?
So betting on upside is what we do with our young homegrown, by the way, homegrown players.
He's not going to be the best defensive lineman in the league, Chris. Come on.
That's not who he is.
Look at me. Trey Hendrickson was the best defensive lineman in the league last
I'm
year.
looking at you, Josh.
Yeah, and you think Jermaine Johnson coming off a torn, ACL is going to play up to that standard?
Jermaine Johnson is a lot younger.
That was
He's
bad.
homegrown talent.
Destroyed his internet.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles. That was an awful.
My internet has been destroyed since an hour. We're almost at 2 hours. We need to end the show at this point, bro. My phone's. I'm telling you, bro.
I mean, we went through all the
It
questions.
hasn't exploded yet. Chris,
If we sat here and went through every single comment in the chat, you guys have been so engaged with the show, we'd be here till 2 a.m. So we went through the bulk of everything. We appreciate you all tuning in. Those are my co-hosts, Jack Cotter, Chris Grasso, Josh Woolever. I'm Connor Long right here with you guys on Next Gen Jets. Again, please make sure you all smash the like button and hit subscribe because it continues to help us reach new milestones, reach new marks. We are currently 66 subs away from 2,000 subscribers. Get us to 2,000, folks. We're almost there, 1,954. So smash the like button, hit subscribe. We appreciate your support, as always, right here on the show. There were a few more that I saw before we wrap up. Let me see if I can find those in the chat. Some funny comments. John says, let's get our boy Grasso some proper equipment here.
Yeah, I have proper.
I think we actually sent him a mic.
Yeah,
I bought him a webcam when we first started the show.
I have proper equipment at my house. I'm unfortunately was at a family function today. I'm sorry. I have a life. Unfortunately, I have a life. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. So I mean, I'm here. I made it. So yeah, I'm sorry. The quality isn't up to par, really.
Alan says Chris is useless. Is he a charity case?
Alan, tell your wife's boyfriend hello for me.
Oh,
oh
my goodness.
Just say hi to him.
This is my favorite.
Tell him that we'll have a beer anytime.
Wow.
This is like rockin'. This is like the Rock and Stone Cold
That's
level
a new
feud.
level.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Rock and
Chris,
Stone
Alan,
Cold.
do we have any development from Alan? Has he clapped back in the chat?
Alan, to answer your question,
He has,
no,
actually.
Is not a charity case, at least to my understanding.
I appreciate that.
Connor, I
Listen,
think Alan actually said a new comment.
throughout this show, we have built a tightly knit relationship. Listen, we're all brothers on this podcast.
That takes
baby.
some guts to say.
Definitely. That was
brothers in green and white blood.
Are your parents watching the show right now, Chris?
I'm not sure.
My wife's boyfriend. LOL. Alan, we appreciate your support. We appreciate.
I think Alan also said Next Gen Jets -1.
Yes, I see that as well.
Listen, the Alan hate back and forth. Listen, I don't even know. It's a one-sided hate beef here.
It is clearly not one-sided.
Yeah, no.
Listen,
you cursed him out. You
I'm
literally
only
just
defending myself. I'm only defending
Alan not
myself.
hating enough? Alan, he's saying you're not hating enough.
It's only.
I embrace the hate. Yo ho.
Exactly. Embrace the hate and listen. I'm not a broadcaster.
Yo Holmes. See Yo Holmes comment whenever I'm on filling in for Jake Asman on his show.
I saw him one time. He's like, "Oh, I can't deal with kids today." It's like, bro. Like,
I don't even acknowledge that. I let it go. I'm not like F you piece of crap. Blah blah blah.
Well,
blah, blah.
you also don't pull those comments up and I'll put on the spot. So I mean.
You can't give my advice, not Alan, Chris, but just haters in general. Never give them attention. That's what they're seeking. They're coming in the chat. They're spamming to try to get your attention.
Wait, but what about that guy that got gifted a membership? I think he lives in Long Island.
Rob from Pointy Head?
I think yeah.
Oh yeah, Rob
what's up with Rob?
Rob from Glenhead is an asshole.
Yeah. What's up with
Rob from Pointy Head Rob from Pointy Head got a membership.
I'm calling. I'm calling the challenge flag.
Pull up how Chris felt. How'd Chris feel?
I'm throwing the challenge flag on that one.
We'll pull the tape next week. Nevertheless, we appreciate all of you guys. Jack, any final thoughts?
Let's just hope our Jets can get better. And Chris, please fix your audio.
Oh, I'm not in my house for the 4th time. My God.
Chris, any final thoughts? Will you be on the laptop next week?
Oh, and also have a good bedtime story to read you guys tonight.
What the?
Do you have any final thoughts, Chris?
It's always fun coming on here with you boys. And listen, not a fun game for the Jets yesterday, but it'll get better. We're chilling.
Joshua?
Boys, a disappointing loss, but not a disappointing show. Love you, boys. Chris, that the time you were with us was awesome, but the Allen beef, I need that to continue. Allen, your
I'm
challenge.
not a hater. I'm just pointing out that this show.
Whoa!
Connor,
Wow.
Jack, and-
Listen, some would agree with that. Someone disagree. That's the beauty of having free speech and opinion. So I mean, you obviously are not a fan. That's okay.
Wave your American flag.
You
guys are the best, but I can't wait for next week. We'll have the 53 narrowed down to just a couple more fringe spots, and it's about to be Jet season.
Oh yeah, baby! Jet season's approaching. Thank you all for tuning in. Those are my co-hosts, Jack Cotter, Chris Grasso, Josh Woolever. I'm your host, Connor Line, saying good night, everyone. Right here on this Sunday edition of the next
Jets. Peace out, folks.